Welcome to episode 206 of the Peter Sheppard podcast. Welcome back to everybody who's been listening. Welcome to all the new listeners. Sometimes you had to come here and talk about all kind of heavy issues and all kind of things going on and deal with serious matters, right? But sometimes you had to come here just to lighten the load.
Escucha el señor que le digo yo, y esta paralita fue el mandado de Dios. Escucha el señor que le digo yo, y esta paralita fue el mandado de Dios. Una de las hijas de Jerusalén, frente niño que nació en Belén. Una de las hijas de Jerusalén, fue más grande niño que nació en Belén. Escucha el señor que le digo yo, y esta paralita fue mandado de Dios. Y escucha el señor que le digo yo, y esta paralita fue mandado de Dios. Esta noche cuando se la apareció, aquel amarillo que en sueño la habló. Esta noche cuando se la apareció, aquel María en sueño la habló. Y escucha el señor que le digo yo, y esta paralita fue mandado de Dios. Escucha el señor que le digo yo, y esta paralita fue mandado de Dios. Y escucha el señor que le digo yo, y esta paralita fue mandado de Dios. Y escucha el señor que le digo yo, y esta paralita fue mandado de Dios. Y a Belén de Judá María parió, y un hermoso niño Manuel se enamoró. Y a Belén de Judá María parió, y un hermoso niño Manuel se enamoró. Y escucha el señor que le digo yo, y esta paralita fue mandado de Dios. Y escucha el señor que le digo yo, y esta paralita fue mandado de Dios. En el bello cielo escucha yo la bulla, cuando los angelitos cantan aleluya. En el bello cielo escucha yo la bulla, con los angelitos cantando aleluya. Y escucha el señor que le digo yo, y esta paralita fue mandado de Dios. Y escucha el señor que le digo yo, y esta paralita fue mandado de Dios.
Every now and again, it's got to remind us how short life is and how important it is to savor every moment and to stay in them moments and to hold on to the people who are close to we. So sometimes you had to deal with serious business, sometimes you just had to lighten the load.
La paloma lleva ciento lindo pico, y un ramo de olivo para el paraíso. La paloma lleva ciento lindo pico, y un ramo de olivo para el paraíso. Palomita blanca fue que me enseñó la puerta del cielo, la puerta del cielo para la paloma blanca hecha de morena, porque hasta la práctica de la nota buena. La paloma blanca sí hecha de negrena, porque no le fresca de la nota buena. Palomita blanca para decirte fue que me enseñó la puerta del cielo, la puerta del cielo para adentro. la puerta del cielo por adentro.
Let me tell you something, parang music sweet, parang music have a sweetness, sometimes you can't explain it, and boy, what better time to take in some parang music than now, sometimes when you feel the mood of the whole place change, you have to adjust to suit,
Mira, esta la música les busca, nosotros cantar el calerón de Jesucristo, cuando se va bautizado para el río Jordán, y la tentación del... Ay, cuando Jesucristo quiera creyente en ello y el hombre le va a ay, se va para allá de Dios, pues se bautiza los señores para San Juan Bautista, San Juan Bautista. Y mira los cielos abiertos y el Espíritu Santo descende a mis señores con paloma blanca. Ay, como una paloma. Ay, yo podré decir, y eres tú mi yo te llore, que me tiene mal, que me tiene compleja anillo. Ay, Jesucristo le elevó y se va para allá de techo por 40 días te lloré 40 noches. Y el hombre mis señores no come y no bebe y mira y al diablo le vino le dice a Jesucristo. Ay, si eres el niño Dios, porque no comes la pena de pan me se lloré, pero eso y entonces el hombre no beberá sola lleva mi
a good time to remind people that you love them. We don't know. All kind of different news happen over this weekend, and I do have some things to cover, but as I say, sometimes it's only the music could feel a little pain,
Merecina por la vieja y tabaco por don Alberto, merecina por la vieja y tabaco por don Alberto.
Don Alberto no aquí, donde don Alberto no aquí, don Alberto en la montana, se va para Merecina, don Alberto en la montana, se va para Merecina.
Don Alberto y su mijito, y el hombre es un médico, don Alberto y su mijito, y el hombre es un médico, Pulosina habitan del suelo, y los animales tampoco, Pulosina habitan del suelo, y los animales tampoco.
¿Dónde don Alberto no aquí, donde don Alberto no aquí, don Alberto en la montana, se va para Merecina, don Alberto en la montana, se va para Merecina.
Y el mono quiere Merecina, y el moro quiere también, y el mono quiere Merecina, y el moro quiere también, un hombre por la rodilla, por aquí de Merecina, un hombre por la rodilla, por aquí de Merecina.
¿Dónde don Alberto no aquí, donde don Alberto no aquí, don Alberto en la montana, se va para Merecina, don Alberto en la montana, se va para Merecina.
Don Alberto y su médico, por todo y el mundo, don Alberto y su médico, por todo y el mundo, por las aguas del orello, por las aguas en los cielos, por las aguas del orello, por las aguas en los cielos.
¿Dónde don Alberto no aquí, donde don Alberto no aquí, don Alberto en la montana, se va para Merecina, don Alberto en la montana, se va para Merecina.
Don Alberto tiene casa y no tiene mis hijos, don Alberto no tiene casa y este no tiene dinero, pero tiene corazón, corazón por la libertad, pero tiene corazón, corazón por la libertad.
¿Dónde don Alberto no aquí, donde don Alberto no aquí, don
Roberto de la Montana, se va con la medicina. Don Alberto de la Montana, se va con la medicina. Hey, I'm sweating here. Sweat! Sweat like first time. But talk show or no talk show? Sometimes the talk show and all can't find the words. You know what I mean? That's not the kind of song you could stop in all honesty. That's not the kind of song. I want to apologize for having to stop that song, right? It's sweet, sweet, sweet. But when you can't find the words, what you gonna do again? If you ain't take a dance though, you ain't true like parang if you ain't take a dance. You must shake a foot. When you hear a waltz like that, you must shake something, right? And it would be remiss of me. I forget about calling artist name and thing when I'm playing song, but it would be remiss of me if I play in a little parang session to open up the thing here and to lighten the load, as I say, if I have a parang thing to lighten the load. How I gonna not play the Queen?
Ansiedad de tenerte en mi brazo, musitando palabras de amor. Ansiedad de tener tus encantos y en la boca volverte a avisar. Ansiedad de tenerte en mi brazo, musitando palabras de amor. Ansiedad de tener tus encantos y en la boca volverte a avisar. Tal vez te estoy llorando en mi pensamiento, mis lágrimas son piel que caen en el mar y el eco adormecida desde la mente hasta siempre presente en mi soñar. Tal vez estoy llorando al recordarse y este tu retrato con frenesí, y este hoy demuele la melodía salvaje y el eco de la pena está en ti. En el mar y el ojo adormecido de esta mente hasta ser presente en mi soñar. Tal vez te estoy llorando al recordarse y este retrato con frenesí y el ojo adormecido, la melodía salvaje y el eco de la pena de tan sentido.
It's tune. Unless you answer that. Welcome to episode 206 of the Peter Sheppard podcast. Welcome back to everybody who's been listening. Welcome to all the new listeners. You can't say you ain't get parang. People say they ain't get enough parang and so on. Although that's soca parang man more than a parang man, right? I might be a kaiso man more than a parang man. But when you hear music like that, I started sweating. I had to get up and turn on a fan inside this place. I started sweat. You know what I mean? But every now and again, we hear 52 weeks a year, and we hear year after year after year, and every now and again, you just have a year like a week like this, where don't care where you look at in the news, the heaviness taking over, right? So I want to, before I get to the sadness of the week or the weekend, I just want to open with a happy story. I'm the kind of guy who, right? I don't know if you want to call it nepotism or shepherdism or what it is it have, but I cannot avoid picking up a good story when I see a shepherd involved. I mean, what else we building platform for if we can nepotize it? If LeBron James could get his son to come and play basketball, who can't play basketball at all? And he could get his son in you know what I mean? Why I mustn't bring up a shepherd? Hopefully we related and I could get a slice, maybe if he hear this and sales boost, I could get a little percentage. But Peter Sheppard celebrates 30 years of art. You might know Peter Sheppard, right? Acclaimed artist Peter Sheppard marks a significant milestone in his career with a small exhibition of captivating landscape paintings, celebrating 30 years of his first show at the 101 Art Gallery. The exhibition begins with a reception on December 17th at the I was just checking the date to make sure that I ain't reading no old news. The exhibition begins with a reception on December 17th at the gallery, 84 Woodford Street, Newtown, from 5 p.m. This anniversary exhibition, only don't know how much time I do that and just cut it out of the episode. I don't understand what kind of edits be going on to make this a fluid, flowing episode, right? This anniversary exhibition revisits Sheppard's enduring collection to the gallery where he debuted 3 decades ago under the guidance of gallery founder Mark Pereira. Known for his evocative small format works, Sheppard's new collection continues his exploration of landscapes, capturing the vibrancy and beauty of his surroundings with a sense of place and nostalgia, the media release said. Sheppard said, "I'm humble and grateful to have had the support of the 101 Gallery over the years. The exhibition is both a reflection of my journey as an artist and a tribute to the community that has encouraged and inspired me. The highlight of the exhibition will be a bold departure for Sheppard, a large-scale painting created specially for this occasion. Now, I know from following him, I just follow him on Instagram and them things, right? And the intricacy of his paintings and landscapes and like he has a, you know, every Caribbean person, I shouldn't even say Trinis, right? We like to have a painting or a photo or a picture or a print or something in our house. Maybe that reminds us of the traditional houses in the village that we came from. You know what I mean? So if you see a St. James house or Woodbrook house, it have a distinct kind of look. And every part of the country is the same. But while they're all distinct, they all have a certain similarity. You know, you see the old gable roof, a galvanized roof going down, a board house, big opening door like a Chinese shop. You know, there are some things that unique to it. A little step in front. Like there was a guy who I was following, and I hope I pronounced the name right, Frodelino or something like that, miniatures. And he's doing these miniature versions of houses. And I remember reaching out to him at the beginning when I was just started recording the podcast, and I wanted to have, well, to tell you the truth, right? I was trying to design a set that could look very West Indian and Trinidadian and them kind of thing, and make it into something that is more representative of what I'm coming to talk about. And I said, well, this Frontlandia or whatever you name miniature thing, maybe I could put them on the desk and make it into something. At some point in this podcast journey, I need professional help, right? Because it's clear I can't do it by myself. And I'd reach out to them to do some pieces, but it would not work out because them days I ain't know too much about camera and things. If I had that, you ain't gonna see it anyway in the shot. But he does the same. He would do miniature sculptures of the houses and stuff. And it reminded me a lot of the way Peter Sheppard does his artwork. Because I'm not that his thing's miniature, but the paintings generally are pretty small. So I suppose they say here that he's moving away from what he typically does and having a large-scale painting, especially for the occasion. He said this monumental piece serves as a visual ode to his 30-year journey, marking his evolution as an artist and his deep connection to the gallery and its patrons, he really said. The exhibition is a limited time event offering enthusiasts and collectors offering the opportunity for enthusiasts and collectors to witness a special collection that bridges the past and the present in Sheppard's artistic journey. Sheppard is one of TNC's most prominent landscape artists, celebrated for his richly detailed works that evoke a deep sense of connection to nature and culture. He served as president of the Trinidad and Tobago Art Society, and so on and so on and so on. The exhibition ends on December 21st. So check out that. And if you don't go, like, check out his paintings. He's on Instagram. You know, one day I will be prepared, right, to talk about things and not shoot from the hip. But his Instagram usually shows a lot of his paintings, and especially when he has stuff coming up, like exhibitions or anything like that, he usually shows them. And you could just look for Peter Sheppard, simple enough, right? And you will see what I'm talking about. Like, I seen one here of a tuck shop and what we would call a parlor and a fruit stall back in the day. And he's a general. Now, this painting I'm looking at here is 5 inches by 5 inches. That's what I mean when I say he typically does these smaller looking paintings. But when you see artwork, is the idea behind artwork to capture a piece of time for you as the interpreter to connect with the artwork in some way. And you have that in your space and it becomes a conversation piece. There's another one that is in the Newsday article here. I'm not seeing who it's written by to give credit to the author of the article, but there's another picture or painting that is the feature in here that looking like what I remember as a little child going to places like Blanchisseuse and going Matlot and Tokwe, you know, a seaside village, or even Charlottesville, where you could see the houses, you know, small houses right on the sand line, and some boats line up, like, you know, and fishermen tending to the net right there, and the shore, or the water washing ashore. So salute to Peter Sheppard. 30 years of anything I find is commendable, and I salute to him on his journey. And 10%, if any sell, when you go there, tell him tell him my name. Tell him Peter Sheppard, Corey Sheppard send me. You ain't gonna get no discount or nothing, but you go help me negotiate, right? as we try to move the podcast to new horizons. Talking about podcasts, so I just want to say as well, salute. There's a youth man by the name of KG who are starting to get a KG, like the letter K and the letter G, right? The man is KG, you understand what I'm saying? I just forgot the words in it. But salute to KG. KG are doing interviews. Very much remind me of a fella in Jamaica by the name of Teach Them, who used to sit with artists pretty much any and everywhere. You kind of meet them where they are. and do little one-on-one interviews. Could be an hour, 2 hours. You know what I mean? I have a bias toward very long format listening things, if you didn't realize yet, right? I meet my partner in the office the other day, salute to my boy Kern Hines. I have some things to talk about cricket today too, coincidentally, but he was telling my boy, he say, hey, you know, I really want to hear what you had to say. You know, I like to hear what you had to say about topics, but boy, is it 2 hours something I can't take? I prefer, let me tell you something. When I listen to a podcast and it's too short, I just get mad. And sometimes if it's good enough, I just listen to it over and over. I have some issues, but KG falling right in my zone. So when I go and walk, I walk for an hour. You can listen to an interview of his. And the last few, he's been doing this for a long time because he had a lot of the Trinidad artists and the young upcoming artists on the platform with him. And he's of that, right? He has songs with Swanee and stuff before he's an artist himself. And I enjoyed seeing him in that space. Now, I can't sit down and listen to too much of the younger. I just out the demographic. No knock on them at all. So I never looked at a whole lot of them. But the first one I sit down and take in for a good while was when he interviewed Umi Marcano. Because when Umi was doing Soca Star, I was around that time. I was doing a sponsorship. We had sponsored Soca Star. When I say we were working for Sony Ericsson at the time, and they were sponsors. So to my boy Kelly Atanas and Grill Peppers, congratulations to Grill Peppers on opening their first location in La Romaine. You know what I mean? Salute. But them days, Kelly working by us, and we used to go to all the Soca Stars auditions and everything. As a matter of fact, we do Soca Stars and we do Rising Stars for years. So we used to sit down from 6, 7 in the morning till 6, 7 in the night, watching all the people audition for both Soca Star and Rising Star. So it's interesting for me to see some of them become big artists and things today. But when I see Umi on it, and we were sponsors, and plus my boy Colonel, we had known Umi from Bellevue too. As a matter of fact, Umi, we used to talk to Umi almost every night after he performed and he filmed for Soca Stands. Colonel was one of the people who was closest to him. Colonel was his stylist at the time, making sure Umi looked good for every show and kind of strategizing what to do next and how to look and how to come out and how to do the performances and things. So having been in the background of that back in the day, and when I see Umi sit down with KG, now I'd have taken that. And I was real interested in watching Umi interview. And just like watching Teach Them with the Jamaican artists, I find that even though I was right there, it had so much that you don't know or you can't remember right. Like I hear Umi say his first girlfriend was Matara. And Matara is the one who gave him the chain and everything. He had a story with that. And then they had Wendell Naipaul, who was a stage manager, or is a stage manager, and was around all the biggest events. Wendell was there. And they say Wendell cussing people. I don't get cussed up from Wendell. Me, Hinkson, Osman, all of you taking pictures and fete and thing back in the day to trinisongs.com. And I used to be on the stage. I used to take pictures of whoever's the artist on stage and them thing. And boy, who tell me walk up on a stage with Mr. Wendell? Cuss like dirt. I never think, boy, listen. That man real cuss me. I want to hit him with the camera. My mind telling me, hit him. The camera good and heavy. It's solid in my hand. And the devil chuck, he say, hit him. But I say, boy, let me leave that alone. I just walk. Even some people on his side was like, oh God, Wendell. So he had to talk to youth men. But that's how he was. And he was on his show talking about his involvement in all those big shows, as well as him playing a pivotal role or a critical role in Synergy, which I didn't remember, to be fair. Even when he was talking about it in the comments, I was saying, but when Wendell become a part of Synergy? But I do remember him being a part of Jason Williams' show. And all the artists coming on when Jason Williams had a Friday Night Live kind of style. And them things, them was epic days. He brought on KMC as well, who had a kind of incident with a Movado thing on that same Friday Night Live. JW and them interview real people. And it shows you, like, when you see JW where he come from on Friday Night Live, to be now probably the #1 media personality in the country doing morning talk show. You had to salute and take your hats off to them, you know what I mean? Salute to JW. But very, very interesting taking KG. And the last one I see him do was Cassie. Salute to Cassie. You only remember? When last you take a wine on a tongue thing. When last you take a wine on a tongue thing. And I'm hoping that when KG, I ain't see that interview yet, right? But we're to take it in. And it's clear to me that he getting more and more artists and people calling him to go on the show and stuff, which is great. I love to see that, and I love the interview. Salute to KG. But I do hope that somewhere in the interview, KG asked him to please explain what he mean when he say Could a bee kill a bee? Could a bee on the jungle? A bee stink kitchen in the middle of the jungle. Start like vum vum vum. This one start like. I don't know what that means. I don't think Cassie know what that means. So I hope KG get out there. But salute to KG. And as we send in salutes, I want to salute to Kaiso Kern. You know what I mean? I the Monday night 10th. Taking that because his brother know a lot of Kaiso and he in the depths of the Kaiso. Salute to him and happy birthday to him, right? So let me get into the thing now. I avoided for long. I'm trying to break it now. Trying to break it all how. But very, very, very sad stories in the country this weekend. Sad stories. Things that I don't like to talk about and I don't like to report on. But the truth is that sometimes you just can't avoid it. I see some kind of heaviness happening here this week. Let me start with the youngest. Let's start with the youngest, right? In the most unfortunate of circumstances, a little boy in Sealot drowned in a pool. Now, this is when you talk about, let me tell you something, life short and sometimes it's brutal. And my whole point of this episode is like, I avoid talking about these things all the time. And I always spend a little time in Christmas to, even though we play song and we ham, lamb and jam and we happy, I always talk about the fact that it's such a difficult thing Christmas could be for people, where you lose people so close to Christmas and in around Christmas times, or you know, you lose people who you had special memories with in Christmas. Then nothing happened to them during Christmas itself, you know, but because all you had special Christmas memories and things that all you used to do and traditions for Christmas. And the first time when Uncle Izzy man used to cut that ham and this one used to bring the sorrel, and then all of a sudden that person no longer there. Even you had to spare thought for the families who going through these things for Christmas, because we still, as poor or ill-timed as this statement might be, you had to live. I always remember when I was young and looking for jobs, right? I'm now looking for work and thing, and I gone to a funeral for my uncle, so my Uncle Neville, right? It was Uncle Neville funeral and so on, and I have a family member who trying to help me get a job and a family member who say he will help me get a job. And I remember both of them bouncing up in the funeral. And the man said, the one who could get a job from him, who could pull the string, is his father who passed away, right? So my next uncle now, two of them bounce up anything. And I with both of them and I hear any conversation and they talk and they say, boy, your father is a good one, Darren. And they talk. And in the midst of the talk, my next uncle now say, well, boy, that's about the dead. What about the living, boy? And he points at me saying, hey, we still have to help this man get a job. And eventually I get a job. The rest is history, right? But that, as a young man, that always stayed with me. Because the truth is that in tragedy, there are people who want to live on. And you're living on in pain and in grief, but within the pain and the grief, you have to work, you have to do. It's almost like there's this mystery and in the brutality of life where you still have to pick yourself up and do different things, and you have a next child you have to see about this one school go start back. It's like the world just continue to turn. And for some of us, it might be easy to bear because all of us will face our tragic times and have our moments, right? But it's so easy to forget them moments when you grow past it, or the time help you heal the wound. And sometimes as always spare thought for people who under it and going through it, you know, the first Christmas without your mother, that first Christmas without your father, without your children, what it might be like. But when I see this thing with this little boy, it's such a tragic thing. Just freak accident, right? Let me read for you from Nicole Drayton from The Guardian. A miss of the eyes. This was how grieving Sealot residents yesterday described the tragic drowning of a two-year-old AJ Charles in the swimming pool area. Charles, who lived with his 33-year-old mother and other relatives at Production Avenue, Sealot, was found unresponsive in the private above-ground pool at around 2:30 yesterday. The owner of the property where the pool is located expressed sympathy for the grieving family, as she speculated that AJ may have wandered into the backyard unsupervised and been attracted to the pool. How unfortunate is that? Condolences to this family. Condolences to a young mother, 33 years old. Nobody, you know, you want to say things like nobody don't deserve to have nothing like this happen to them. This little boy, you want to say why. But who is we to ask questions, boy? And to people who have all the answers. That man have all the answers who looking now. We must not forget these things. And it's such a brutal situation. Next brutal situation you have to read and wake up. And again, condolences not just to that family, but to the entire community, because that is the kind of thing where it's hard for a community to recover from that. It's hard for everybody, the parents, that little boy, his friends, the people in the daycare where he's go. Everybody would have been touched by this little 2-year-old boy. And then imagine your yard, you have a pool, and this is, boy, listen. Unexplainable thing. Like I said in the beginning of the episode, thing where you can't find the words. You can't find the words for it. In more sad news again, as we continue to, what you want to call it, to wrestle with a crime situation that more and more seem to be out of hand, out of the hands of people. I'm not sure if we're in full control of what's going on in the country, or, you know, when these things happen and you look in the comments, some people is go to prayers, some people is go to the government, some people is go to evil spirits and whatever. All different kind of things people is give as reasons. But who knows? Who knows what could lead people to do things like this, and who knows who we're living amongst, you know what I mean? When you study who you're living among, sometimes it's scary. Say here, this is from The Guardian. In a horrifying home invasion, thieves stormed Amina Mohammed's Couva home barehanded, smashed the kitchen window, and stabbed her to death with her own knife, even after they obtained $10,000 in cash and jewelry during a Saturday night robbery. Police said Mohammed, 68, of Nancy Street, Lisa's Gardens, Couva, suffered 4 stab wounds to the neck, even though she passively cooperated with the attackers. That's the part that make this story, I mean, it have nothing good about this story. But if it could have been worse, this is the thing where you start to study, because all of us, and once you live in here, you have that thought or that fear or that concern in your mind about the security of your own home. You know what I mean? Like what is your household like? Where we live in? And we have that that sort of fear, whether the fear is in your house or the fear is on the streets. Like today, I order some roti skin and thing, right? So I call Hussein, I say, here what? I come in to pick up roti skin. Me I realize that the roti skin, the Hussein's I call, I thought it was downtown Port of Spain, or what they call the one in El Socorro, the Samoa kind of area by the Quays. I thought it's them I call. Not knowing, I go and call Hussein's roti shop on the corner of George and Queen Street. Oh, Lord. But I done what it's already, and I have to go and pick it up now. I say, oh, Lord. I say, how long me go this kind of place? And to tell you the truth, every time I hear George and Queen Street, now the only time, and it's because of the podcast I've been reading and mounted, is when somebody on Grindr going to meet their friend and robbery. How much time we talk about that here? So I now studying, boy, try and get these roti skin and get back in your motor car and drive out to here safe and sound. Because the way I just walk and I have a kind of twist and a little cock bottom and them kind of thing, anything happened to me on George Street is the fastest you go hear they say. I was on Grindr and the man I went to look for is a roti skin I went to look for people. But you have these, you're living in this world where you're going out, you're watching yourself. You have to lock your car, the street kind of dim and it ain't look too good. Or you want to make a next move, you're coming home. You're watching wrong for car. And no society should not live this way, and we continue to live this way. And even in those thoughts, you kind of think maybe you have these scenarios in your mind, the fight or flight or whatever the thing might be, and what you go do in a situation like that. And most of us, like most people I talk to, will say, boy, let them take the things. Just because at this big age and thing, let them take the things. Once my wife and my son safe, we go thing. And people might, I don't know if you're going into attack mode or defense mode, but we have this notion in our mind. You tell me if it's me alone, right? You have this notion in your mind that if they just take the things, it's not fair, it ain't right, but at least we have life and we could live on to go again. So when you hear that this woman, Amina Mohammed, is, the articles keep saying passively cooperated. In other words, you tell them, go ahead, take what you want. We don't want no problems. We just want to live, please, and you beg for your life. And men who come barehanded, take your own things and do that to you, is a heaviness that cannot be described. So again, condolences to the family of Amina Mohammed, the community that Amina Mohammed belongs to, the whole of Couva. And it's one of them things too, just like this little boy. It's sending nation into a kind of heaviness, because it's almost like everybody was that little boy who went in that pool, or know that little boy who went in that pool. This is nothing nobody had to explain to you how to relate to that. You must feel that. Everybody know Amina Mohammed. Everybody in Trinidad and Tobago know her. We know Granny. We know Auntie. We know moms. We sister. Oh, this is us. This is who we are. This is our society. This we own. So when you see things like this, boy, it's heavy. And boy, if that wasn't enough, so again, condolences to them. If that wasn't enough, you wake up early Monday morning to see one of the more difficult things I think the country has seen in a long time. You know, I saying that everybody know this little boy in Sealots and everybody know Amina Mohammed. But the truth is that when you see grief and sudden death hit people, especially people who known in public life, is a difference, you know. I remember when I wake up this morning and I went on Facebook, you know, you kind of just scrolling. I start seeing people putting a little emoji with tears and little, no way, I can't believe this, and nobody's saying exactly what happened. Early in the morning, right? And then as I usually do, I throw my radio on and I listen to Blaze and Miles, because I will typically get some kind of news from them, right? For some reason, Zachary liked the newsreader a lot. I forget the fella's name offhand, but he's come and he read news every morning. Zachary liked to hear him too bad. And I hear the newsreader nothing say, but you hearing Blaze and them alluding to what is happening. And of course, I mean, if you're in the country, you know what the story I'm talking about. But if you're not here, you might have heard about the tragedy that faced Lisa Morris Julian and her family at her home. Let me read from the Guardian, right? Tributes continue to pour from various sections of society following the death of Member of Parliament for Dabadi O'Meara, Lisa Morris Julian, who served as a minister in the Ministry of Education. Minister Morris Julian and her two children, aged 25 and 6 years, died tragically in the early hours of Monday morning in a fire at the family's home in Faffan Street, Arimo. Pro Vice Chancellor and the Principal of UWI St. Augustine. This article is about the tributes that and the general feeling of people, right? That the tributes continue to pour in, as they say here. Pro Vice Chancellor and Principal of the UWI St. Augustine campus, Professor Rosemary Antwine, extended condolences to the minister's family in a statement issued today, and pointed to her contribution to the education sector. As a former school teacher and alumna of the University of the West Indies St. Augustine campus, she also highlighted the late MP's public service record. Said on a professional level, Lisa Morris Julian was valued where she laid the foundation for her illustrious career. Her passion for playwriting earned her numerous awards at the secondary school level and left an indelible mark on the students she taught, Professor Antwine noted. Her journey from an inspiring teacher to a respected public servant highlights the profound and lasting influence she had on her community. On a personal level, as a fellow Arimian, I remember and reflect upon Minister Morris Julian with deep fondness, and I have lost a cherished colleague whose kindness, wisdom, and warmth touched many lives, including mine. Words cannot express the deep sadness we feel at the passing of Lisa Morris Julian, but we find comfort in knowing that her spirit of dedication and excellence will continue to inspire us. Parliamentary colleague from the opposition benches, Rodney Charles, the Member of Parliament for Naparima, described late Dabadi O'Meara MP Lisa Morris Julian as someone who was consumed with service to her country, her fellow citizens, her principles, and her family. The news of her passing and the manner of her death are hard to take even for those who have much experience with the trials and tribulations of life, he said. Grief, especially in this season, does not discriminate. Hell of a statement. Grief in this season does not discriminate. And the truth is that we all know this. We all know this. We've all been there. You sit down and talk to people for long enough, you're going to hear stories about this. It's life. Life, as much as we have plenty joys and plenty things to celebrate, we also had these moments where, I mean, you're still celebrating the life of people who pass it, but sometimes these celebrations could be brutal and they could be painful. While neither we last spoke at the function, Rodney Charles just went on to talk more about the relationship they had and her commitment to Arima and the people of Arima and so on. And you know, They like to say politicians are strange bedfellows. I hope I say that the right way. But politics is a funny place. And I'll say this, right? Even in tragedy, you could find some people who have the meanest things to say about people. And let me leave it at that. They have the meanest things to say about people. And I did see a few comments like that. But you could see, they stood out like a sore thumb. You could see people who, on the opposition side, on the government side, on the apolitical side, on the side of whether it's technocrats in education, secondary level, tertiary education, it's like her impact on people around her was something else. It's some other applaud. It's not easy to be in the position that she in and have so many people pouring out. We're talking about genuine outpouring of love for somebody. It's something else, something that I don't remember seeing anything like this in a long time. And yes, it's tragic. Yes, it's very sudden. I think everybody was in shock. But it seemed like one of those people who live a life where it's hard to find anything bad to say about them. And I'm not talking about just because I want to read from Loop TT as well, where it's a Barbados Prime Minister saddened over Maurice Julian's passing. Barbados Prime Minister Mia Mottley has offered her condolences following the tragic passing of Dabadi O'Meara MP Lisa Maurice Julian. In a post on X, formerly known as Twitter, she said she was deeply saddened to learn about the passing of Maurice Julian and her 2 children. She said, on behalf of our nation, I send my heartfelt prayers and condolences to the family, friends, government, and people of Trinidad and Tobago during this tough time. It wasn't just people like that, or Dr. Rowley, of course, who was on the scene this morning, and as they say, the principal of UE. I just want to read what Dr. Rowley had to say here. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley has expressed profound sorrow over the devastating loss, describing it as an unimaginable tragedy for her family. So my family and I are devastated by this awful tragedy that has taken the lives of Lisa and her children. We extend our deepest condolences to the Maurice Julian family as we, along with the ARIMA and the wider national community, struggle to come to terms with this shocking reality. Again, I struggle to put it into words this morning. I would imagine that these prime ministers and people who have these positions in the region, who are speechwriters and all these different things, they might be in a similar situation where it's hard to find the words to put for this kind of thing. I mean, I remember coming here one time and talking about some little children in a rookery nook who get caught in a building and on fire. Is such a tragic way to die. It's one of the things that I think you ask the average person about. I mean, we had to go sometime, right, all of us. But that would be one of the ways that would be very, very frightening and fearful, and something that it's almost like for us who here, on top of the pain of losing people like that, you have the pain of the gruesome or the tragic way it happened. Then you put the layer on top of that, the pain that is 3 people in a family. I want to express condolences to that family who it is unimaginable to have a family lose 3 people under them circumstances like that. When you see the outpouring of love, I ain't talking about just prime ministers or no principal of UE. I'm talking about the average person now on the ground who they're talking to. I remember one of the first things I saw was Keejan Haynes talking about it. And as professional as he is, in the end of when he talk about what happened, he say, well, on a personal level, this was a friend of mine. This was a friend. Yes, you heard that coming out several times. Several people on my timeline, Arimians and otherwise, talking about. I saw one post from a colleague I was in, Cindy Roseman. Salute to Cindy, talking about playing pan for her and sharing some of the texts with her, saying, back and forth, and they always support each other, according to Cindy. And one of the texts saying, girl, life short. Boy, short it is. Of course, you see Balira Maraj, a Rima man. I believe he's mayor now, or formerly mayor. And Penelope Beckles was there. Of course, you see more and more people coming during the course of the day. I saw tributes, of course, from Randall Mitchell, from Stuart Young, several people. But one of the most difficult things to watch this morning, outside of just coming to terms with that news, one of the most difficult things to see was Camille Robinson Regis. Boy, if you ain't see it yet, don't try and see it. But the raw human pain and emotion I see in a woman, I wonder sometimes if reporters should not show that or not publish it. Like, I caught between things like that. Like, should we just avoid showing it at all because it's just too raw? Or is it something that we need to see? Because what happened with her there this morning is something that I think all of us can relate to. All of us can relate to it. It is the way it goes. Unfortunately, life, as I say, life have a kind of brutal way about it. And I want to first to keep our thoughts with Camille Robinson Regis and everybody in that family and those families that I mentioned here that feeling exactly like what she feeling this morning or what she's felt and what she'll continue to feel for probably a long time, because this one, it's rough. Everybody have good things to say about it. That is a rough thing, and I think it's just one of them things on as a country where we get the opportunity to take a pause. And every now and again, you have to hold on to that opportunity with two hands. The opportunity to take a pause to just reassess what we're here for, reassess the purpose that we put here for, what is we doing. If we just going through the motions and we get an opportunity to pause. These families have a long road ahead of them. These communities have a long road ahead of them. And this nation have a long road ahead. Because it's not an easy thing to, as a nation, to see a weekend like this, where it's unfortunate incident, it's complete tragedy, and then it's appalling levels of crime that we can't seem to come to terms with. It's like we got a dose of everything this weekend, but the truth is, again, like my boy tell me, uncle tell me funeral, he say, yeah, that is dead, what about the living? We must remember as we continue to live on, because as we document these things and we talk about them and we read about them, all of us feel it. But the truth is, the days will pass, the funerals will come, the wake and them go finish, and the funerals and them will go. Right? And Christmas will come. And we will ham, lamb, and jam, and we will open gift, and we will do all the nice things that we do for Christmas. But I want you to appreciate or just spare a thought or a prayer or a moment or a meditation or whatever it is you're into. Because these families and these communities going to and these friends, I watch a little, and it just so happened that I was watching, really a Fisher Brown I was watching, to tell you the truth. Because I like a Fisher Brown, and she says, sweet, paramin. I like her on her side, you know what I mean? And she was performing at the, I want to say, is that government reception or was that PNM reception? One out of the two things, but Dr. Rowley was there and I feel so good when I see this this young lady. I see her. I remember seeing when I used to follow her on Instagram and TikTok and things, when she just used to come and play a little tune or anything. And I remember coming here and talk about her being one of the next Daisy Voisin. She or the young queen, the next Daisy Voisin, the next Alicia Jagasa, she definitely heading towards that, and she taking the parang music seriously as far as I'm concerned, because you could see an effort for her to, she done form her band, she always well dressed, well made up and things. So I follow in her career, just like I like to see youths get through in life. So I watching this thing on Instagram over the weekend, and I feel so proud, like I feel like an old uncle, you know what I mean? An old uncle watching my niece, and I say, but look at this girl. You saying young lady, I don't stop calling people girl and thing. Look at this young lady playing quatrain, singing with the Prime Minister coming to take picture with you and taking out your thing. I can't imagine how that must have felt for her. I feeling to cry and me ain't doing a damn thing. When I see the thing, I water in my eye. If I was me singing, I break down. She and her band continue to sing and they put on a performance. And to think that Lisa Morris, Julian and them was there and everybody see her and they partying and thing, and then when is, according to Eric Williams, fet over back to work Monday morning, this is the kind of tragedy people come to hear. So, again, condolences to the whole Arima, a family, boy, a family. That is a hell of a loss for a family. Mother and two children. 25 years old, you now start to live. 6 years old, you now start to live. And what we go do? We go question it and we go ask why? Waste of time. The most we could do is continue to hold them in our prayers, continue to hold them in our memory. As I say, the time will pass, and people who most affected by it gonna have a very rough Christmas and a very rough New Year's. And some of us might have moved on, but spare thought for them, because that can't be easy. And this is why every single Christmas since I started this podcast, I always come and play this song, because this song for me is a reminder that while Christmas is a very joyful time for me, because I like my parang and I like to go by people, and I've seen what parang does when you give somebody a parang. When you pull up and you sneak up by somebody's house and you jam two chord and you thing, and that person wake up in the pajamas and the duster coat, and they come out of the house. I tell more people who love parang, I don't go and do this by nobody who don't go and do this by nobody who don't love it. But when you do it and you bring a kind of joy to people when you just pass through, and when you pass through and you give somebody a parang, it's 5, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, you buy somebody else, you don't stay long and you go on by, you know much a place like parang already is houses you don't know the people. Because I always remember being in the back of Bagatelle or places in Arima, places in Claxton Bay, 2, 3 in the morning, when things strike up and we play. And when we go play before you go inside, they go open the door, you go in and play, and then you're coming outside. And neighbor peeping by the thing, you say, son, will they come and give me a parang now? Come. You know, it's such a loving thing and such a joyful thing. And I like the gift giving and the spirit of Christmas and the ham and the pastel and the memories and I love all of that. Even remembering loved ones who not with us here anymore is a special thing for me around Christmas time. But we must never forget that while we having joy, boy, what they say, laugh and cry is live in the same house. We must never forget it.
Mommy, will you sing Jingle Bells for me?
No, it's not Christmas yet. And you're not getting any toys this year.
Days to go, but inside my kitchen it dry as bone. My pot shining like a saxophone. Cobweb inside my butter dish. The worms in my belly speaking Spanish, but still on the radio I hear everybody say, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Penoso cosas, severo cosas, penoso cosas, penoso. Biscuit pan and have no flour. The ants get vexed and bust up me sugar pan too. And like they planning to stage a coup. They get like a vagrant on the street. Nothing in the house you get rat to eat. Cockroach in my kitchen he complaining. Nothing in the cupboard he migrating. But still on the radio I hear everybody say, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Christmas round the corner. No food, no toys, yeah, buy me liquor. The only positive thing that I see is no more house flight to bother we. Rockpile lawsuit against my wife. No cheese in the rat trap to save the life. Mosquito hire a lawyer too. He said the blood is sucking from we is boo. But still on the radio I hear everybody say Merry Christmas, 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 Merry Christmas.
Samosas, chicken samosas, veggie samosas, bang, 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 bang. Chicken samosas. Crazy, good song, good song. Crazy, stopping singing good song now. We have a few more to play. But in other news, I feel, you know what I mean? Sometimes I give all your little sports news now. I'm sorry. I know the ladies and them don't like the sports news, but we loving the sports these days because I will get to Dwight Yorke, of course. I will. But before I get to that, Sammy replaces Kohli as Test coach. Former West Indies captain Darren Sammy has been named the head coach of the West Indies men's team across all formats. This was announced yesterday by Cricket West Indies Director of Cricket Miles Bascom during a CWI media conference in St. Vincent. Sammy had been the coach of the West Indies T20 and ODI team since last year and will take charge of the Test side from April 2025, replacing current Red Bull coach Jamaican Andre Kohli. Under Sammy's hand, West Indies have won 15 of 28 ODIs since May 2023, winning 4 of 7 bilateral series. Well, this means if you was to judge, he's better than Pep Guardiola. Right? I mean, come on. 15 of 28, you're batting over 50%. 4 of 7, you're batting over 50% in T20s. The team clinched 4 series at home against India, England, and South Africa, and lost to Sri Lanka and Australia and England, and have made significant movement up the ICC 220 rankings, currently occupying the 4th spot. So Sammy's the man. One thing Sammy have is very inspirational leadership. You know what I mean, Sammy? I don't know if anyone was in the West Indies, if he was the best bowler, the best batsman, or the best player. But somehow, like, he has something that encouraging and inspiring young players to give more for West Indies. So I'm hoping that Sammy is a man could help we turn a corner. I don't know how much corner we go turn in West Indies. I'm feeling like now we're driving on one of them Formula 1 track where it's just corner. the whole thing looking like it's just corner. So I'm hoping that we get in there. Sammy, if anybody could get me there, Sammy could get me there. If anybody could get Soca Warriors there, Dwight Yorke could get me there. Trinidad and Tobago to face off with Saudi Arabia in international friendly. This international friendly should be happening on Tuesday this week. I think it's the middle of the day too. So I am happy to see that, as I predicted, we will be getting bigger friendlies and so on. You know what I mean? The government put some money in the thing. I am assuming that corporate or private sector will sponsor and put some money in the thing. Unfortunately, it was just announced, Scully loves football. It was just announced that the game will not be shown. Apparently, Saudi Arabia preparing for their Middle East Cup, and they want to have a closed session. But I mean, I'm glad because I can't tell you the last time we had a friendly against any side of any kind of repute. I mean, I shouldn't say that. Maybe outside the Caribbean, right? I don't want to say that the other Caribbean countries are waste. But we need bigger opposition. And I think not so much just the quality of football. The quality of football is a factor, right? But a factor is we have a lot of local players, a young team here. For them to go, travel, and play games like this and see what it is to be under that kind of pressure out there. And, you know, flying, you get in a class. See Dwight Yorke telling them recently, hey, we just have an hour and a half to practice. We're getting one practice in the stadium. You got to give everything here. This is not time for... Yeah, you know, he talking to them like how school teachers used to talk to you a long time. When you say, I want to come here and have to repeat it myself and talk to you over and over and over. Just do what we had to do, get the practice done. That level of exposure and professionalism that we should get out of a friendly like this and to continue to get more friendlies, I think is important. So they say again, TNT's senior national football team will face Saudi Arabia in an international friendly at the Al Shabab Club Stadium in Riyadh. The Trinidad and Tobago Football Association says this encounter on December 17, 2024 serves as a crucial preparation for Trinidad and Tobago ahead of the Gold Cup playoff against Cuba in March 2025. Saudi Arabia will use the match as part of the build-up to the Arabian Gulf Cup later in December. The fixture marks the first international outing for newly appointed coach Dwight Yorke as he begins his tenure to build momentum and solidify the squad. Yorke will have the services of overseas-based players, including Captain Aubrey David, who plies his trade in Guatemala. I saw Aubrey David say under Yorke, everybody had to play for their position again. He's been our captain for a little while, but he say he's like, yeah, everybody had to play for their position. So it's a no freedom under Yorke. I like that. And I think he has the respect of the players, both older and new. And it might work in our favor that the game is a close game where you're not is no media coverage, no live show or anything like that. So what we could do is, no matter how the game turn out, we could just lie. As far as I'm concerned, if I was Yorke, we don't win this game, or I lied like hell, I lied all the way through my team. I don't care what nobody say, no? All now, I calling all Sean Fuentes and Lasana Liebert and all. I calling them now lies. I said, guys, we end up playing the game early. We win about 35-0. We have the greatest team we ever had in the history of Trinidad and Tobago football. You know what I mean? You had to do something, you know. You had to make it happen. So I needed to make sure that we here, we celebrating the teams. West Indies is turning a corner, and the Soca Warriors bringing in corners and turning corners and so on, I guess, you know what I mean? But I here to leave all with a little music too, you know. A little music for the Christmas season. I may or may not. All you mightn't see me until is old years, you know, maybe old years. Because I'll tell you this, right? I was planning to surprise somebody with a parang over the Christmas season, right? Because this Christmas different to a lot of the Christmas that I've spent. But people spoil the surprise. I don't know what the hell is be going on with people now. I went through a lot of lengths. I went through all kind of different things to tell people, all right, seal up thing. Don't let nobody see where it is. Seal up box. Don't let nobody see. And they're going to put big label. Big label on the box. And things like that. So since I can't get nobody, no parang in person, let me give you a little parang right here. I can't give you something.
Oh yeah. Get it. Hey, alright. Christmas is big business, they say, and me a doubting. You see your land sun green, just pack up the grocery. Women always want you curtain, and the house want repainting. So the damn businessmen could win. They say that Christ is born on Christmas Day. They say that is a pagan holiday. I say no way. Cause when I see the love in the land,
Boy, it's Christmas again.
old man Jack stretching their hand.
Boy, it's Christmas again.
It's the only time of the year.
Boy, it's Christmas again.
The rich that show the board that they care.
Boy, it's Christmas again.
Children that be happy, eating things they never see. Christmas that unite all family.
Boy, it's Christmas again.
Oh, sing it with me.
Boy, it's Christmas again.
Come on, let me see.
Boy, it's Christmas again.
Give it.
Let me tell you something. House Parang is not an album, you know. House Parang is a verse and a chorus.
on the table. I hope you buy it. Me and the boys come to give you a parang. We ain't giving till the liquor done. Oh yo yo yeah yeah yeah. Come on fellas, let me take a next one. Oh yo yo yeah yeah yeah. We have about 10 homes to clean. Oh yo yo yeah yeah yeah. We drinking from pain to kerosene. Oh yo yo yeah yeah yeah. It's Christmas, Merry Christmas. It's Christmas, Merry Christmas. Hey.
A man tell me my ears get sensitive. That's why I listening to Rome and I can't take Rome, but I can listen to these.
From my son I'm getting older, and all she balloons I have to blow.
Some for the door and some for the window are blowing, are blowing.
Pumping like a train, all my chores in pain.
Neighbor Rosie,
I can't blow your balloons again.
living alone, she don't condone.
No set a lengthy preparation. No ham, no lamb, no gifts. The plum,
Just hanging balloons and decoration.
oi, 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 never Rosie. Oi, 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 never Rosie. Oi, 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 come and help me blow. Aye.
Neighbor Rosie,
Too lazy,
Neighbor Rosie,
your balloon crazy.
Neighbor Rosie,
Come and help me blow. Aye. Baila chica, baila.
I the mighty Trini say she balloon crazy. Blow neighbor Rosie. I ain't so sure about the room yet. I ain't so sure about the room, but I mean, in fairness, if you could listen to these, maybe we should get Rome a chance. Ease up, Rome.
Let's go!
Because when I listen back to this, my problem with Rome is that the Pone Annie, it's not enough cleverness to be called a double entendre. But this ain't clever neither, no? God bless Kenny G. Did I say Kenny G or did I say Kenny G? God bless them both.
Last Christmas we have been fun in a village in South St. John. They pass round the rum for everyone who felt that they wanted some. When the bottle reached by Mr. Stock, he threw one and asked for the cork. Sumitra was there, we searched everywhere, but just so the cork disappeared.
What?
She had the cork in she hand, the cork in she hand, she holding the cork in she hand. I can't understand why this woman had the rum bottle cork in she hand.
Alright, point taken. Let me leave Rome alone. If we could listen to that, we could more than listen to Annie and Chipone, right? But it's only fitting that I finish this episode with a Arimian. The whole country reeling. But Arima reeling is only fitting that I land it off with a Arimian, right?
Come in where you see where you gonna get. Sit down.
That's right. We are wrong.
I want rum. Drink a rum and a punch of cream. Drink a rum. Drink a rum and a punch of cream. Drink a rum. Drink a rum and a punch of cream. Drink a rum. Drink a rum and a punch of cream. Drink a rum.
Muma, would you like to join your sonny? I am over here, happy
we in the mother country, darling, for the Christmas, your son would be really jumping. Listen to the chorus of what we all will be singing.
Drink a rum and a punch of cream, drink a rum.
It's Christmas morning.
Drink a rum and a punch of cream, drink a rum.
Mama, drink if you drinking.
Drink a rum and a punch of cream, drink a rum.
Let we fed if we fed in.
Drink a rum and a punch of cream, drink a rum.
Again, Muma, I have invited Jamaica, lovely Grenada, Barbados, also Guyana. It's an invitation for a stupendous occasion. You can just imagine, we drink until New Year's morning.
Drink a rum and a punch of cream, drink a rum.
It's Christmas morning.
Drink a rum and a punch of cream, drink a rum.
Do drink if you're drinking.
Drink a rum and a punch of cream, drink a rum.
Mama, sing if you're singing.
Drink a rum and a punch of cream, drink a rum.
The fete is grand, bottles of all description. You must understand, liquor to supply a nation. I have ordered whiskey, punch of cream and gin and brandy, lime and tonic water, lemon heart and angostura.
Drink a rum and a punch of cream, drink a rum.
It's Christmas morning.
Drink a rum and a punch of cream, drink a rum.
Mama, drink if you're drinking.
Drink a rum and a punch of cream, drink a rum.
No time for shivering.
Drink a rum and a punch of cream, drink a rum.
On Christmas Day, when Big Ben alarm 6:30, we are on the way to begin this festivity. Later in the evening, we passing through Piccadilly, everybody dancing and singing the same melody.
Drink a rum and a punch of cream, drink a rum.
Mama, drink if you're drinking.
Drink a rum and a punch of cream, drink a rum.
It's Christmas morning.
Drink a rum and a punch of cream, drink a rum.
Let me drunk if we drunking.
Drink a rum and a punch of cream, drink a rum.
Come and see how we jamming.
Drink a rum and a punch of cream, drink a rum.
Come and see how we wedding.
Drink a rum and a punch of cream, drink a rum.
I mean we shivering.
Drink a rum and a punch of cream, drink a rum. Listen, enjoy the Christmas. Just in case I didn't see you or hear from you before then, enjoy the Christmas. Celebrate, enjoy it. Love the ones who here. We here while we're here. Let we enjoy this Christmas and have a good time. Let we stay safe and sound. Well, you should hear from me before the new year come. But let me see how it go now. If you don't, you have a whole catalog to catch up on, right? This is a good time to go and listen to some old episode where you'll get a chance to see. But until I see you all again,